What's up? What's up? What's up, tribe? We are back the right way, child. I did not like that vertical. I did not like it. We won't be doing that again. All right. We are here for Belle Collective Season 6, Episode 7, which is the season finale. First of all, let me start here. Carlos King. Hey, Carlos D. King. I don't know if D is his middle name or not, but we're just going to call it Carlos D. King. Sir, if you do not have enough compelling footage to at least give us 10 episodes on a show that has been running for 6 seasons, then either A, it is time to cancel that show, or B, you need to push back the premiere date so you can give us 10 full episodes. They give 10 episodes to a brand new show. When a brand new show is starting, you generally get at least 10 episodes. You mean to tell me you couldn't get 10 episodes out of a show that has been running? We're in season 6, and the best you could come up with is 7 episodes. Then the show it ain't ready. Send them people back to the drawing board. Tell them they need to bring you something better. Because sorry, not sorry. That's not okay. That is not acceptable. That's number one. Number two, the 7 episodes that you bought us was some bullshit. This season was sorry. And I'm sorry that there are people out here who love them some Belle Collective. But this season was sorry. And I'm not going to say it's because they lost So Gucci. I'm not going to say it's because they lost Akeisha. I'm not going to put it on any one person. I'm going to just say in general, these women aren't giving us anything that I give a damn about. And what they bringing us is the bullshit. So let's start with the episode. Leticia, he doing half seasons to keep from paying the people. That's probably what it is, Kim. Let's start with Leticia and Glenn. They coming back home from this trip down to the Gulf. First of all, Glenn has dinner waiting for her, and she come in there like she's still mad about something, talking about something. I still can't trust y'all. I'm still not ready. I'm still this, and I'm still. At this point, I don't even know what Leticia mad at Glenn about at this point. If you telling me that you knew about those messages, you already knew what the situation was, that those messages weren't new messages, you know that Glenn and Mandy are cool with each other. What are you mad at Glenn about? Now, let's be clear. Glenn has given us a whole lot. Okay? But in this one, I'm still trying to figure out what Glenn did wrong. If none of those text messages that lady showed were new, if none of those text messages gave us proved that Glenn is stepping out on Leticia, what you mad at him for? What did he do? Now, maybe I don't forgot because I'm so disconnected from this storyline that maybe y'all can remind me in the chat. But what did he do? Amanda didn't show all the text messages. So then this one I'm gonna say, Ravine. Then this takes me back. This goes back to production. How do you expect me to become connected to a storyline if you don't give me the full storyline? How am I supposed to give a damn, or how am I supposed to understand what Leticia is feeling and where Leticia is coming from if you don't give me all the information to make that decision? She should be meeting for private dances. He shouldn't be meeting up for private dance. When did they say anything about private dances? She showed different messages to Latrice and Tamara. Yeah, maybe I missed that, Kim. I don't remember no private dances. But either way, Leticia says she's still mad at Latrice and she's still mad at Glenn because she's tired of putting it out to people what she don't get back. That's what she said. She says she is tired of pouring into people and it doesn't come back to her. He shouldn't be testing the waters with another one. But this is what I'm trying to understand. If she says she don't care about anything that was before 2025, then I need to see what happened in 2025. If all of those messages were from prior to January of 2025, then to me, I can't be mad about that, because by Leticia's own admission, anything before January 2025, she don't care about, because they recommitted themselves, and anything that happened before that was just going to be in the past. So that's the part I don't understand about. I'm not saying Glenn is innocent. I'm not even saying that Glenn is innocent in this situation. I'm saying production, for me, did not do a good enough job of telling me why I'm supposed to be mad at Glenn. That's what I'm saying. Now, again, maybe I missed it. There were messages afterwards. They said it on the show, but none of the messages afterwards were, there was only 2 or 3 messages, and they weren't, there was nothing in them that was bad. At least what I saw. Okay, Kim. The Facebook group said there have been years of rumors about AW and Leticia fighting down to the Pearl Bar. I believe Tay served as the meeting spot for Glenn, creating him and Cliff both have dirt on each other. So again, I hear you, boo. So again, this takes me back to production. Production, you're not giving me a reason. I'm just, again, I hear what all of y'all are saying, but production, you're not giving me a reason. At least not for this to be the whole storyline for the whole season. See, if y'all were gonna make this the whole storyline for the whole season, I needed a smoking gun. I needed a message from Glenn from within for after January of 2025. I needed a smoking gun. I didn't get that for me. Now maybe for y'all, but for me, I didn't get that. So that's number one. Then we got, so let me say this. If we I try to bring a solution. If I'm gonna bring a problem, I try to bring a solution. Here's my solution. Stop using Glenn as Leticia's storyline. Because here's the reality of the situation. She's never going to leave him. So give me something else to be vested in Leticia's storyline, because Glenn ain't it. None of us, and when I say us, I'm talking about the general population of the viewers on the show, do not give a damn about Leticia and Glenn, because we don't believe that anything is ever going to happen. We don't believe she's ever going to leave him. We just don't. Excuse me. We just don't. So give us something else. I already told y'all, the fact that she's a whole Belle's bondsman, the fact that she has these other businesses that she's never spoken about, you could give us some of that. And even if it isn't a real scene, like I told y'all before, we don't know it's not a real scene. Film with somebody coming in there saying that they need to get their family member out of jail and the story is complicated. Film her going down to the jail, getting somebody out on bond. Film her on the phone, making phone calls about somebody. Oh my God, they didn't show up for their hearing. Oh my gosh, what do we do now? There's a lot of people that don't understand how the Belle's bondsman business works, because they may not have ever had any family members that were in the system to know how it works. Give us that. Give us some work scenes that share with us what she really has going on. Because let's be clear, we all know it ain't brunches. Y'all had to give me some tea, honey. I had to make me some tea. We all know it's not brunches. So tell us how this woman really make her money. Give us the insight into her real storyline. See, y'all gave Marie a whole lot of bullshit. When I say y'all, you know I ain't talking about y'all. But y'all gave Marie a whole lot of bullshit. But Marie has always given us her real life, whether we liked it or not. Now, Marie might be extra and putting 20 or 10, but we knew what Marie did for a living every day. We knew about Marie mama. We knew about Marie's kids. Listen, Marie done gave it to us. So I just feel like, Leticia, you needed to give me something. With Akeisha gone, Leticia has regressed to her name self, a pick-me with no real business or interest in Fair Street. Right. Because at least when Akeisha was on the show, we got some semblance of a storyline with Fair Street. All right. Well, I know she is a Belle's bondsman. I know that to be a fact. That's not pretend. Now, I'm not saying that she's a millionaire off of being a Belle's bondsman, but I know she is a Belle's bondsman. So that's number one. So let's go on and put Leticia over to the side. Then we have Latrice and Cliff. Again, y'all are burying the lead. Listen, Latrice, you had a whole situation at your bar during the time of filming where your husband got into an altercation with a person at the bar, a former employee or an employee of the bar, and the police had to be called. It was all over social media. Girl, why we ain't hear nothing about that during this season? You have the people down there filing lawsuits against you and stuff. Why we didn't hear nothing about this? The neighbors complaining about the noise. The neighbors giving you a hard time about parking. Why we didn't hear none of this? That's real shit. And let's be clear. It's not an indictment on your business. It's not even an indictment on you as a businesswoman, because it looks like you're trying to bring a restaurant into a neighborhood that's used to things being a certain way. You ain't breaking no laws. And when we read through the article, when you went before the city council, it actually sounds like you've done everything in your power to try to accommodate the neighborhood. Why not have that? Why we didn't see you having a conversation with Cliff about bar business? Why didn't we see you having a conversation with your attorney and about having to go before the city council about noise ordinances? See, that's the shit. If we're talking about Belle Collective and we're talking about these Belles being business women, this the shit. We always want to show the shiny rock of owning a business, but it ain't always a shiny rock. Sometimes it's just some good old-fashioned dirt and stone. And that's the flip side of it. We always want to sugarcoat what it's like to be a business woman or a businessman. We don't ever want to show the other side. And the other side is sometimes the neighbors don't like you being there, especially as a Black woman in Jackson, Mississippi. Let's call a thing a thing. Why can't we see you going through you? Why are you on your third bar manager? What the hell is going on at down to the bar? But instead, you want to give us this bullshit storyline about Cliff and this condo. Girl, let's call a thing a thing. Your husband been staying at that damn condo. Did y'all see when she went in that closet, all them clothes that man got in that closet? That man is living there. He not just staying there a couple of nights a week. That man is living in that condo. He got a whole closet full of clothes. Shoes, belts, socks, toiletries. It's fully furnished. You said you was trying to turn it into an Airbnb. What's stopping you? Why you ain't got it? Why it ain't an Airbnb yet? Girl, that man is living there. That man is living there. What's up, Mims? So you got a whole storyline that you could be giving us, and you ain't gave us nothing. Bullshit. Then we got this storyline with oh shit. Now I can't think of her name. I can see her face. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The DJ. The DJ. Damn, why I can't think of her name? Lord have mercy. Her with her baby daddy, Tamara. Lord, thank you, Chuck. Chuck, you be coming into the clutch. Me and these memories, child. Tamara and her baby daddy talking about money. And I say baby daddy. Notice I didn't say boyfriend. I didn't say fiance. Because I don't a bit more believe that the two of them are together than the man in the moon. I don't believe it. And again, I'm going to call that for what it was. Tamara, you wanted a baby. He was willing to give you a baby. Y'all were friends. Y'all, that was what it was. You didn't want to you didn't want to go out and buy you no sperm. You wanted to get it the old-fashioned way. He agreed to do it, and that's where y'all are. Because here's what you're not going to convince me of, Tamara. What you're not going to convince me of is you had a whole bank account for your child before she even got here. You started a whole bank account for her before she got here, but you didn't understand that you needed to have a fund for your wedding. What? She said, oh, we should be saving for our marriage? Not miss, I plan for everything. I'm so organized. I do this, I do that. And I had a whole bank account before my child even got here. But when the man said, you know, you have to plan for marriage, and she was like, what? I got to have a bank account for marriage. But then in the next breath, you tell me that y'all have had conversations about combining bank accounts. What? Girl, let's just call a thing a thing. Production told you needed to come up with something. So you done came up with this storyline of you and Damon and the money situation. First of all, when that man said, right, it was a whole agreement. When that man, y'all was talking to a financial planner, I guess. When that man broke it down for you as to why Damon doesn't want to talk to you about money, is because basically you emasculate him every time you question him about his money and what he's doing with his money and whether he's good with his money or not good with his money or the decisions or the mistakes that he's made with his money. You emasculate that man every time you do it. And again, I'm not saying that men are not above reproach and that men shouldn't be questioned. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, like my mama told me, sometimes you got to let a man be a man. And like he told you last week or the week before last, when y'all had that conversation, and he said, have you ever gone without? Has my child ever gone without? That was basically him saying to you, listen, when you call me, you know I got it. When you call me, you know it's coming. Other than that, you don't need to worry about what's coming in and out my bank account, what bills I'm paying, what I'm not paying. You don't need to worry about none of that. When you need it, you know you got it. That's it. That's all. Especially since y'all ain't even with no real couple. Do you all think they did it to make the baby? I don't know what you mean. What, had sex? I think, like you said, I think that Tamara wanted a baby. And I think she wanted to do it the old-fashioned way. I don't think she had already frozen her eggs. I don't think she wanted, either financially she didn't want to do it that way, or she just wanted to do it the old-fashioned way. And I think that they had a conversation. Do I think that they like each other? Do I think that maybe they hook up from time to time? Sure. But I do not think that they are engaged. I do not think the plan is even for them to get married. That's that. Selena and her son, going back to her son's house. Listen, I think there's nothing, and I've said this before, there's nothing in the world like a mother's grief over her child. Y'all know I don't have children, although I watched my mother grieve my brother. And I have never seen, I've seen my mother grieve her father. I've seen my mother grieve her mother. I've never in my life, when I saw my mother grieve my brother. It's just a different kind of pain. So I feel you, Selena. Nobody can make you do anything before you're ready to do it. She said that was the first time she had actually been inside of her son's home since he was unalived. And I do agree with her. The fact that he was outside, but he was laying on a blanket, it does make me feel like it was done by somebody he knew, somebody that had some level of care for him to a certain extent. When they were inside the house and they said it looked like that there were foot marks on the door and looked like maybe there had been some fights there. I'm wondering if, I'm not saying the night that the incident happened, because I'm sure the police have looked into all of that, but maybe there was a situation prior to that night. Maybe there was some things going on in that home, that some fighting and stuff like that. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that. You know, Selena continued to process and grieve. I thank you for sharing, because I feel like outside of that bullshit storyline you tried to give us with your fiance, this was the realest storyline we got this season. You know, you grieving your child. This was the realest that we got. Yeah. So Cliff and Glenn. First of all, both of y'all's acting is terrible. So this whole scene was just crazy to me. But I'm going to tell you what this scene did prove to me. This scene proved to me that Cliff and Glenn know where each other's bodies are buried. That's it. That's all. I feel like Glenn, you wanted Cliff to end it because I think you really were worried that maybe something was going to be said. I think you were nervous and you was worried that something was going to be said. That's number one. Cliff was like, listen, my wife said she ain't know nothing about them questions. He said, I ain't got nothing to do with that. He said, when them women get to doing what they doing, I ain't got nothing to do with that. It proved everybody knew Glenn was full of ish. Child, exactly. What's up, Lyric? Hey, boo. Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, at least from where I sit, I don't want y'all to think that what I was saying at the beginning of my live, that there was a lack of a storyline there, that I believe that Glenn is innocent by any stretch of the imagination. I absolutely do not. But I also know that at a certain point, and I've told y'all this before, even in my own life, with friends in my own life, if you ain't going to leave them, it don't need me to keep... Why am I going to keep participating in this merry-go-round? If you ain't never going to leave them, girl, I don't care. And I understand why Tamara was like, I'm not telling Leticia nothing. Because they've tried to tell her in the past. And either A, she flipped it back around on them, or B, she didn't leave Glenn. So why am I going to keep telling you that your husband is in them streets when, number one, you know, and number two, you ain't going to do shit about it? I want to protect my peace. Right, let that man cheat in peace. Shit, I ain't got nothing to say. Cliff was giving me, he wasn't fitting to get us live for Glenn because he knows he talked to that girl. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say that Glenn didn't do something wrong. I'm going to say that production didn't do a good enough job of portraying that to me. But what I also know is this was a very uncomfortable scene because both of y'all are horrible actors. First of all, Cliff, we can't even halfway understand what the fuck you saying. Anytime you got to get subheadings every time you open your mouth, that's a problem. But okay. I ain't attending no Cheetah's vow renewal. Right, Mims? What the hell? Not just wrap up a piece of cake and I'll eat it later. Let me tell you what else I'm sick of too. And I believe Latrice because we never saw that girl again because I'm more than sure Latrice cussed her out for spilling that tea at her house. I think Latrice expected her to tell it somewhere else. That ain't what happened, Lyric. You want me to tell you what happened? Oh, I got that tea. You want me to tell y'all what happened? Y'all ready? Now, I had this tea before the season started. That's why my attitude was a little different at the beginning of the season because I had gotten a little tea. So my attitude was a little different about this whole scenario in the beginning of the season because I was basing it off the information that I was given. But y'all know why we never saw Mandy again the rest of this season? Baby, because Latrice dropped her big girl draws at production. I mean, Leticia. And she said, I'm not filming with her again. And I better not see her again. That's why the only other time you saw her film with Latrice. You never saw her the rest of the season, did you? Because Leticia went to production. Baby, Leticia went to production. And basically did a it's her or me kind of situation. So that's why you only saw her in that one and that other scene. Latrice tried to film with her more, but there was just nothing for her to film. I mean, there was nothing. What more? There's nothing more to talk about, you know. But Latrice tried to get her, you know, like she did with Selena. She kept remember, you know, she kept filming with Selena, so Selena kept getting on the show, but it just wasn't more to film. Right. If the DMs meant nothing. Right. But that's why my attitude, if y'all go back to how I was, what I was the first couple of episodes, my thought process was different because I was like, oh, well, those DMs must have been a smoking gun. Them DMs must have been boom, boom, bam. You know what I'm saying? But then when I saw them, I was like, so there must be more to the story, but we didn't get it. You see what I'm saying? They also need to revamp the whole production team. This show has so much potential, and we saw none of it. I agree. That's what I'm saying, Lyric. That's why as I go through each story, I'm like, there was so much more y'all could have given us. There was so much more y'all could have given us. You didn't realize Leticia had that kind of clout? Go back and look at the last couple of seasons. When Leticia has a problem with something, I don't care what Leticia said. She was shocked when Amanda said Glenn. She didn't know about those DMs. I'm going to be honest and say, if I'm being very, very honest, at this point, I don't know who's telling the truth anymore. Because now Latrice is telling a whole different story. And we know Latrice is a liar. Because we caught Latrice and all them lies last season about Akeisha and that damn phone and the fight and what happened at the end of the season. So we know that Latrice will lie. But Leticia be lying too. So, child, I don't know. I agree. They could have just kept this whole season. So then I don't care nothing about Marie and Cedric and that damn mattress. I don't care nothing about it. Listen. Y'all want to keep dealing with the symptom and not the problem. Your marriage did not fall apart because Cedric had a bed. Your marriage fell apart because Cedric was cheating on you. Y'all do understand that a man will cheat in the backseat of a car, on a park bench, outside, in a bathroom, at the airport. Like, hello, baby, that bed is not your problem. That mattress is not your issue. But okay, girl, if it was symbolic to you and the man got rid of the bed, great. That's great. Sure, great. Now let's look at this last little situation. This situation with Glenn and this vow renewal. First of all, how many times y'all gonna renew? How many times are y'all gonna renew? See, now my issue isn't even this whole bullshit vow renewal. My issue is y'all playing games with y'all vows, because a vow renewal isn't supposed to be used as a tool that when you want to get out of trouble, you're gonna have this vow. You said y'all renewed And I know y'all probably didn't do a vow renewal, but you said y'all did a whole renewal in January. Hell, when y'all filmed this, it couldn't have been more than 6 months after that. You doing another vow renewal? For what? For what? So you are planning this vow renewal that Leticia know about. It's supposed to be a surprise, but Leticia knows about it. Because everybody's calling Leticia about it. Now, there are two ways to look at this. For me, I'm going to pretend like this is not a TV show for a minute. I'm going to pretend like, I need y'all to pretend with me, okay? I need y'all to pretend with me. We're going to pretend for a minute that this is not a badly produced reality show. We're going to pretend like this is a real situation, okay? And for all of the men in the room, don't get offended, okay? Don't get offended what I'm getting ready to say, okay? You're mad at your husband for poorly planning a surprise. Do y'all? Let me explain something to y'all when it comes to men and women and marriages. And this is not every man, this is not every woman, and this is not every marriage. This is my experience when it comes to men and women in marriages, okay? And I know that men can marry men and women can marry women. I'm telling you what I grew up with, okay? I grew up with a man and a woman in a marriage, okay? I'm telling y'all my experience right now, okay? Do y'all know how many times my daddy has successfully surprised my mama? Do y'all know how many times? Let me add to that. Do y'all know how many times my daddy has planned a surprise for my mama that he has executed himself and successfully surprised my mama? Because men, generally speaking, don't think the way we think when it comes to shit like that. Glenn wasn't probably thinking about her getting her hair done. She said her hairdresser called her and said, "Girl, let me get this money, let me get this hair together, okay?" She said that people were calling her when they couldn't get in touch with Glenn or they couldn't get the information from Glenn. You know why? Because they're used to you making all of the decisions. They're used to you doing everything. So they said, "Child, we ain't got time to deal with Glenn. Let me call Leticia." Now, again, I am not talking about everybody, and I'm not talking about every situation. I'm just talking about my experience. For you to get that mad over that man trying to plan a surprise for you and him just fucking up the execution, I just thought that was ridiculous. Again, we're pretending like this is not a badly produced show right now. We're pretending like this is a real situation. We are pretending like this is a real couple going through some real shit and the husband trying to get out the doghouse, okay? So I need y'all to please don't hold on to the bullshit, okay? Don't do it. I need y'all to pretend right now that this is a real couple going through some shit and the husband trying to get out the doghouse, okay? Okay. For her to get that upset over a badly executed surprise, I thought was just ridiculous. It just seemed like she was doing too much. Now, let's come back to reality. The reality is we are watching a badly produced reality show. So I didn't believe none of that shit. I didn't believe that Leticia didn't know nothing about it. I didn't believe that this was a whole plan that Glenn was trying to set up and surprise Leticia. I don't believe that at all. Absolutely not. I believe that this was a badly executed vow renewal. And I think that part of Leticia's problem is, one, when he said he didn't invite Latrice and Cliff, I think that they expected that everybody else was going to show up. Glenn didn't say I don't know, but neither here nor there. It ended up just being the 5 of them, 6 of them, down to the beach in the middle of the dirt patch. He talking about something. The people were supposed to be here 2 hours ago to decorate. Who, Glenn? Who was supposed to be there to decorate, Glenn? And why weren't they there? Were they not there because you didn't pay them? Were they at the wrong cabana down to the beach? Why they wasn't there, Glenn? And you just happen to have them chairs in the back of your car? And the flowers? And you said that Marie was helping. What the hell did Marie do? Because that was the purpose of getting Marie to help, was that Marie would make sure that Leticia didn't find out about it. Marie was supposed to say, hey, girl, let's go have a spa day. Let's go get some mani and patties today, girl. Let's get our hair done. That was what Marie's job was. Marie's job was to say, Glenn, did you call the decorator? Did you send them their money? Did you cash app it to them, Zelle it to them? Did you give them a credit card on file? Glenn, who else did you invite to this little shindig? Is it just going to be us? Marie said her people wasn't paid. Well, there you go. This whole situation was a mess. This whole situation was a mess. And I'm going to be honest and say that this was probably one of the worst finales of any reality show I have ever seen. Not a reality show that has been on for 6 years. Not a reality show from the king of reality TV. Not that. This was terrible. This didn't even feel like a finale. This didn't even feel like a mid-season finale. This didn't feel like any finality to it. This shit was horrible. I'm sorry. From beginning to end. From beginning to end. This was terrible. But the season was a bad season. It was a bad season. Well, they're in season number 6. I shouldn't say 6 years, but season 6. Season 6. Child, this season made me miss Akeisha and So Gucci. I'm gonna be honest. I knew the show was going to miss Akeisha. So Gucci, we didn't need this. And I will say this: Belle Collective had the potential to give us that same feeling that Real Housewives of New Jersey gives us with the husbands. Y'all know how the Real Housewives of New Jersey, the husbands have their own storylines. They have their own game nights. They have their own filming. Belle Collective had the potential to give us that between Cliff, Glenn, JJ, and Akeisha's husband. They had a whole dynamic there, and when they would get together and film, they had something that could have given us something, right? We missed that. Will, thank you. We missed that when we lost Akeisha and So Gucci. We lost that. And I know that JJ could be a little extra and over the top, but JJ gave us something. There was some entertainment there with JJ. JJ was funny. And to see Will around Cliff and not understand what the fuck he was talking about, to see Will and JJ and their dynamic, they're friends in real life. They have become friends in real life. And then we saw where Cliff and Glenn have become friends in real life. That whole dynamic, that was an element that was golden. And we lost that when we lost Akeisha and So Gucci. To be fair, So Gucci, we didn't lose a whole lot with her, but we lost a lot with her husband. And with Akeisha, I think we lost some of the legitimacy to Ferris Street. She brought the legitimacy to the Ferris Street storyline. And I know that everybody doesn't, everybody wasn't crazy about Akeisha. I didn't like her in the beginning, but I grew to like her. And I did like her these last 2 seasons. I really did. And I thought that Akeisha brought some legitimacy to that whole Ferris Street storyline. You know, she also brought some legitimacy to she gave us a different perspective. Akeisha, even though she had a very layered childhood, she came from Black bourgeoisie. She came from old money, Black old money in the South. Like, that is a dynamic that we don't always get. And it was legit. Like, her grandmother legit, her family legit had money. They legit owned property going back to Reconstruction. They legit owned business. You know what I mean? Like, there was a Black pedigree there with Akeisha. And she was the only one that actually did have business on Ferris Street. Now, the problem is, if we go back to the beginning of the show, nobody really gave a damn about Ferris Street except for Leticia. They weren't a Belle collective that was interested in revitalizing Ferris Street. They just said they were going to support Leticia in her quest to do it. None of them were like, oh yeah, let's revitalize Ferris Street. They were just like, girl, we'll help you. We support you. Akeisha was the only one who could be upper middle class, not just rich like Latrice, but the Black upper middle class. Because there's a difference between having money and having that pedigree. Akeisha had the pedigree. You can have the money, but the money's not going to get you invited into the room. Akeisha had the pedigree that was going to get her invited into the room. And we ain't got to like it, but it is what it is. So anyway, that's how I feel about Belle Collective. I have not watched the Braxtons. Of course, y'all know Love and Marriage Huntsville is on right now. Ready to Love, child. So yeah, it's gonna be. But tomorrow night we will be. Tomorrow night, the Real Housewives of Potomac at 9:15 ish. We'll have that, and JB and I are going to try to get together at some point tomorrow to do Beyond the Gates, and I'm gonna try to get y'all, I guess maybe the Braxtons maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure, but definitely Potomac and at least one other review tomorrow. Oh Lord, now you can wait on Love and Marriage Huntsville, child. I ain't in no rush. Akeisha was that girl Latrice could never compete, child. That's why Latrice didn't like Akeisha. I agree. I think that's why Leticia didn't like Akeisha either. Because Akeisha was able to do what she couldn't do. Yep. And some of them don't care about being invited. Like, I don't think Marie cares about not being invited to the room. I think Marie understands that, yeah, I'm never going to get in that room, but that's okay. I'm going to keep my nose down. I'm going to grind, and I'm going to be good. I'm going to just grind. I'm going to build my empire. But I think Leticia wants to be in the room. She's never going to get it. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace. This chair. Y'all, why this chair won't stay up? It keeps sinking down. I know I'm fat, but god damn. Why this chair keeps sinking and sinking and sinking? I don't know how to fix it so it won't sink. I don't know. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.